The reviews for Thor Love and Thunder just came out, and I have a lot of thoughts on this. You saw my reaction video earlier this month. Well, actually, it's already July. You saw that in June. Wow, where's the time going? I loved Thor Love and Thunder. According to its review score on Rotten Tomatoes at the time I recorded this video, it was sitting at a 71% review score after 73 reviews. That's going to change throughout the day. It might go down, it might go up. We'll see. But I'm also kind of surprised the review score is not higher. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness got a 70%, and I thought that movie was very okay. I know a lot of people loved it. A lot of people hated it. I'm kind of middle ground. There's a lot of stuff I did like, a lot of stuff I didn't. And I think it could have easily been better, and it didn't use those things. And now that I think about it, Thor Love and Thunder had a few things in it that could have made it easily a lot better, even though I still loved it. So I guess if that makes sense. I'm trying to talk about this in the least spoilery way. So we'll talk about it in spoilers on the show on Friday on the official Phase Zero podcast. And we'll also talk about these reviews more thoroughly on Wednesday's podcast. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications if you want to be a part of these conversations, and submit your thoughts. We'll read some of your comments on Wednesday's show. So in this video, I'm going to rank Thor Love and Thunder among the Phase 4 movies. I'll tell you right now, I'm putting it ahead of Eternals, Black Widow, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Those three are the bottom half of Phase 4 for me. I know it's criminal to some of you to put some of those movies in the bottom half. I know some of you are applauding and saying absolutely some of those movies suck. I think Thor Love and Thunder was great. I don't think any of those movies were particularly great. Doctor Strange had a lot of things I liked in it. Black Widow was, I thought, a pretty good movie, and it had a lot of things in it that was cool. The third act was a little too crazy. The CGI was kind of whack, but Natasha's story, Yelena Belova, Red Guardian, all a lot to like there. Eternals had probably the best third act of those three movies, in my opinion. I don't know, Doctor Strange was pretty good, but Eternals had a lot of characters to like. I think it had too many characters that were a little overstuffed with new faces that we had to meet, and then the exposition dump with the Celestials kind of turned me off. So now, that's why those are in my bottom half. I thought they all had their issues. Then you have Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, and Thor Love and Thunder. I think Thor Love and Thunder is going to come in just below those other two. Shang-Chi is probably my number one movie of Phase 4 so far. Spider-Man No Way Home is number 2. A lot of faces in that one, but faces we were already familiar with as Marvel fans. If you watch that as a newcomer, it's probably terribly confusing and would rank below Eternals for you. But it did a lot of fan service in ways that worked for me. It had a great story with Toby, Andrew, and Tom all coming together. The Doctor Strange stuff, I still have issues with the spell and the memory stuff. I think that's kind of weird, but ultimately, it was an absolute blast in the theaters. It gave us what we wanted it to give us, and therefore, Spider-Man No Way Home is my number 2 movie. Shang-Chi is my number 1 because I don't really have any problems with its plot. I thought its plot was fantastic. I thought the family dynamic in Shang-Chi was brilliant. I thought Simu Liu was great. I love the supporting characters. I love the supporting cast. I think the third act does get a little wild, but I think it's just like getting a dragon fight, getting the 10 Rings battle. Like when it was Wenwu versus Shang-Chi, the emotion that went into that was fantastic. And I love that. I love that it stayed a family drama until the end of it. And then it got a little crazy with CGI, but I feel like that is just kind of the new standard here. I hope that it isn't. I would like to keep the emotional moments like what Shang-Chi gave us and see more of those as we move forward in the MCU. So those are my number 1, my number 2, and therefore my number 3 is Thor Love and Thunder. I think it was fantastic. There's a lot of emotion. It's got a lot of mature comedy. It's also a very silly movie, so it balances that very well. I've said in my previous video that Ragnarok was a little too funny for me, and I didn't feel the stakes, even though there were tremendous stakes like Asgard getting destroyed and Thor losing an eye. And this time around, Thor Love and Thunder I'm not even going to spoil anything. Thor Love and Thunder I thought was super fun. I had an absolute blast watching it. I thought that Chris Hemsworth did a great job playing Thor. He's a little silly. I kind of miss Shakespearean Thor. I'm not going to lie to you. But Thor's relationship with Jane, who is also Thor, Natalie Portman does a fantastic job as Jane Foster in this movie. There's a lot of heart in that, and I really appreciate it. Their relationship is a great driver for this film. I love the two of them together, and I'm not going to say more than that. Valkyrie, Tessa Thompson comes in. I would have liked to see a little bit more for her, but she's she's just fantastic. Like, it's hard to talk about without spoiling anything because the scenes we do get with her are good. But I also, the movie was 2 hours long. I think it could have benefited from having another 20 minutes, especially for the sake of Christian Bale's Gore the God Butcher. The only thing that would have made Gore better would have been seeing a bit more of what Gore's doing. And I'm not going to say more than that, but Gore the God Butcher was a great performance. The story, it all makes sense. It all adds up, but the only thing that would have made it better would have been fleshing it out more and showing us more of it. So a good villain who was slightly underused until there's certain scenes where it's just like, oh wow, this is a powerful villain with a powerful performance. But we could have used more of him, I guess, earlier in the film. Taika really just shines through with how weird he wanted to make this movie, how zany he wanted to make this movie. And it comes through. It's a super fun film. I had an absolute blast watching it. I've seen it twice now. I'm ranking it third in my Phase 4 rankings. I'm not going to tell you the order of my bottom three. I don't think any of the Phase 4 movies have been bad. I just don't. There's some that I like more than others. Some I like a lot more than others. And so, yeah. All right, that's the Thor ranking. If you want to talk more about it, we have a live show on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a special guest, the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness costume designer is going to be joining us. We will have a bonus episode of Thor Love and Thunder spoilers, reviews, all the reactions. We'll answer some of your questions on Friday. So please join us on the Phase Zero channel for that. Hit me up on Twitter at BrandonDavisBD if you want to talk more. If you don't agree with my opinion, that's okay. I'd appreciate if you're reasonable about it. But other than that, thank you so much for being an awesome community on Phase Zero and giving us a place to all come and talk about this stuff and celebrate it together. Thor Love and Thunder, what review are you going to give it? I can't wait to hear it. I'll talk to you soon.